Hey guys, welcome to Whimsy and Fluff's first YouTube video. It's a new format for us. We're trying something fun and new and different. And I thought I'd start by talking about why bloomers. Why vintage sheets? Bloomers because I love bloomers, but why vintage sheets? So my mom still does sell antiques. And she has a particular love for linens. So we grew up with, vintage sheets on our bed and vintage tablecloths on our tables. And the thing about vintage linens is you frequently get things that have a small stain in the corner or a rip, or are worn in places, which renders them unsellable. But it was such a shame to see these otherwise fantastic pieces of material going to waste. So I started taking them and turning them into bloomers and skirts and things like that. So that's the kind of basic origin story of where Whimsy and Fluff came from. But as I got into it, really vintage sheets are kind of the perfect material for something like this. And there are a couple of reasons. So I want to tell you about them. First of all, it's incredibly eco-friendly. As with any kind of manufacturing, fabric manufacturing is not super eco-friendly. There's a lot of chemical waste, there's greenhouse emissions, there's water usage, there's all kinds of things that go into having to manufacture materials, fabrics. So by using existing fabrics, upcycling, is the current fad term, but by using existing fabrics, you are you're cutting down on the need to manufacture those materials. And on top of that, we're using material that would probably be thrown out ultimately. And when I finished cutting the bloomers, I send my scraps to Betsy, who then uses them to make the decorative embroidery that we also sell. So our own waste is actually also very minimal. We try to be as eco-friendly as possible. So right off the bat, it's a really great eco-friendly alternative to purchasing new fabric. The second thing that makes them really fantastic is that they are sheets. So this is fabric that has been made with the intention of being soft and cool and comfortable, because it's what you sleep on. So most of the time it has a high thread count, it's dense, which means that it's comfortable and it's soft and it keeps you cool, which is key this time of year. You don't want a heavy, uncomfortable cotton. You want something that's nice and light. In fact, I have had people say that they are more comfortable than regular pajama pants. They're vintage, which usually means that they're pretty. And yes, it is mostly florals, but even within florals, you have so much variety. There's 60s flower power. There's, well, a softer, different 60s flower power. But even in these two such similar genred patterns, look at the difference in the style of them. They probably both came from the 1960s. They're both, super flower power, but they're so different from each other. And then you get things like this, which I just made a romper out of, and a pair of bloomers. They're both up on the website. I highly recommend going to check them out, because this, I've never seen anything like this. The colors are so unique. Look at how pretty that is. And then there are fun and flirty things like this, like the polka dots and the florals. You hear floral and you think that it's limited to, either romantic or stuffy, or however you feel about florals, but there's such variety and they're so pretty. And it's not just floral. Sometimes I have gingham, sometimes I have polka dot. There's such variety and they're so much fun. And it's not what you see when you go to the store today, which brings me to the fourth reason that vintage sheets are the perfect material for something like this. They're one of a kind. As Whimsy and Fluff has kind of evolved as a business, I've gone through phases of using new materials. I tried to do a line of Whimsy and Fluff After Dark that was you know, like more goth influenced and things like that. But inevitably what happens every time, because even before that I had tried to do, you know, I came across this mushroom. I love anything mushroom aesthetic. And I had come across this really cute mushroom pattern that I made a pair of bloomers out of. But inevitably, every time, and I mean every time, I have made a pair of bloomers out of a new store-bought fabric, I've taken them to an event to sell, and someone else at that event has been selling a garment made out of the same material. I'm not exaggerating when I say every time. And not that it's bad that, you know, we're all drawn to these same kind of prints, obviously, but I like to offer something different, and that's why vintage sheets are perfect for that. And I'm sure eventually somebody else will catch on to the fact that vintage sheets are the perfect thing to be using for this, but so far no one else has. So they're one of a kind. Right now, you're not going to see somebody wearing this exact same thing. And I think that's what makes them really, really special. So that's it. That's just a quick, short, hi, this is who we are and this is what we do. And why I think vintage sheets are fantastic. So check out the website. It's www.whimsyandfluff.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook at Whimsy and Fluff, and spelled out, not the and symbol. So it's WHIMSYANDFLUFF. That was like a spelling bee competition right there. Facebook, Instagram, check out our website. Email is whimsyandfluff@gmail.com. And hopefully the world starts to get back to normal and we can start seeing you all in person again. All right, see you next time.